Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I got a great video to you today. It's about solitary confinement in the United States and other countries, a little bit on a UN report. It's a pretty rough one because I did a lot of research on this, and obviously I'm going to give you my stories of solitary confinement, which I spent a lot of time in. Before I get started, please check us out on YouTube member programs, Patreon member programs. Please check out my book, Gangster Redemption. It talks about the hole a lot in there, and I was in the hole for a long time, and I'm going to talk about some of that today, right now. This is a rough video, and I'll tell you why. I had goosebumps on my arms while I was doing some research and thinking back about times I was in there and how I handled it and the mental state I was in. And you know, people don't get it, and I'm gonna give you a couple of little things I did that I found out myself today, and then I'm gonna get into the stories of what it is. Whatever you call solitary confinement in our prison systems, or any prison system, it could be segregation, isolation, separation, lockdown, supermax, secure housing unit. It's all meant to keep you isolated from other people, from communicating with other people, to having any kind of normalcy in any way, shape, or form. Aside from damaging the psychological health of its victims, the practice of solitary confinement is contrary to the principles of rehabilitation. No fucking shit. It's not good for the brain. Solitary confinement can produce adverse health effects in individuals within days. Now, this report I am reading from the UN. This is the United Nations saying that anything over 15 days in solitary confinement is cruel and unusual punishment. Now, this is done for the world over, the whole world. On any given day in the United States, right here, approximately 80,000 to 100,000 people held in solitary confinement conditions in prisons across the country. And that figure does not even include the thousands of men and women, children subject to solitary in local jails and juvenile detention centers. And this is a UN report. I don't know why the UN, and I don't know why the United States is still fucking using this shit, because I talk to people in prisons to this day. While some prisoners are subject to days or weeks in isolation, too frequently, American prisoners are isolated in solitary for months, years, and even decades. I'm fucking going crazy thinking about that, and it's just driving me nuts to see that. These numbers are disturbing. They really are. It's not so much that, you know, I don't think solitary is used. You know, what people know is I spent 11 straight months in the hole. I spent 3 years in the hole, my time. And in the hole, you start going crazy. There's no question about it. You know, you have to try to do things. Listen, they say, you know, only the strong survive. They say, a lot of people say, you know, Larry, you're strong and mentally strong, whatever. You know, I often think, do I have a fucking mental illness? I really do. I'm sure I have some fucking lingering effects of it. There's no question I have claustrophobic from it. I am totally claustrophobic. I can't even get in an MRI machine, which I used to be able to do. First of all, in solitary confinement, it's supposed to be, you know, listen, a lot of people say, well, what do you do? Good point. You know, a person is disruptive on a yard, fighting, attacking a staff member. You got to do something with them. You got to put them in solitary confinement. You got to get them away from somebody else so they don't hurt somebody or do something else. But at what point is enough, number one, where it becomes counterproductive? It's like what I talk about with sentencing. There comes a point in a sentence when a person gets sentenced to a crime. Let's say you do a drug crime. I'm going to give somebody. And you get 10 years. At about 3 years, there's no more rehabilitation. It's now bitterness. You have to find that happy medium where the person realizes the crime they did or what they did, and it's now part of the rehabilitation fact where they don't start getting mad at this. Same with the hole. You know, the hole, they made the hole useful so they could just throw people away in it. I was in the hole for captain's review. That means you go to a yard and they just throw you in the fucking hole and leave you there for fucking 3 weeks just to see the captain, see if you're allowed on the yard. Captain's on vacation, somebody don't want to do something, fuck you, tough luck. And in the hole, you know, I spent so much time in a hole. I sued the prison. I understand. I've read what they call the Code of Federal Regulations, the Bureau of Prison Policies, Federal Bureau of Prison Policies, and the Code of Federal Regulations on in the hole. One of the laws, or one of the Code of Federal Regulations and the prison policies, If you're in the hole for 30 days, they're supposed to take you out of the hole and have a psychologist evaluate you. Now, you just saw all the studies I just fucking posted. All the studies. After 15 days, it's cruel and unusual. You can start having psychosis after 2 days, and it's so true. Depends on how a person can handle it. Depends on how the panic attacks. I'm starting to get a panic attack in my own little way, but I fight through these things because it's therapy. A lot of people say in the comments, hey, Larry, you put the cuffs on, you did that, and that hurt. I went back to abuse. I went in certain things. And, thank you for saying that. I know it is hard, and it is hard for me to do some of these videos. But, it's my own therapy. It's my own self-therapy. It's for a way for me to get better. I mean, I try to get better. I like to try to feel young in my own way, and I'm not. I know that. I'm an old fuck. But I'm young in the mind, and I want to keep doing things that I like in the mind. So at that regard, I want to stay that way. And I don't want to be mental. I totally have PTSD. I have PTSD from the military. I got PTSD from prison. There's no question that, there's sometimes, you think you could snap. Bad things can happen. You catch yourself doing stupid things. I remember watching a movie, and it's tough to kind of admit. I was watching a movie. It was a prison movie, and I literally had to go to the bathroom. And I was crying. I caught myself getting emotional. I just was watching some research and doing research and watching videos, watching Netflix, watching a few things. And some of it got to me really bad. And it was because of memories. When you're in that hole and they never let you out and you can't get out, and you're at the mercy of some people who are really cruel. I think part of the fix is to put the right people in place in those places. And I don't mean just the guards that are going to do things. I mean the leadership that comes down and fucking gives the orders to do some crazy shit to you. I watch the stuff how they, people close their windows and they have to do cell extraction because they did it to me. I had to be extracted because I started going crazy. Now, I also watched in prison, guys go totally fucking nuts. And when I say totally nuts, I mean taking feces, taking shit, face, and then writing demonic stuff on the wall, putting shit on their face, doing the fucking craziest shit, and the whole fucking tear smells, and it's just it nauseates you. You throw up. You literally want to throw up, and you think to yourself, man, where am I at? What the fuck is going on? The biggest part I used to tell somebody, what used to piss me off the most? You'd be in the hole. Now, I was in there 11 straight months. I was in there after assault and staff, 6-8 months. And I'm fucked before I transferred. Then you're in another place. Then you're in the whole way. Like I told you in the last video, I was in a black box when I got transferred, all that shit. So, but, I was in the fucking hole, and every Friday, the warden, the unit managers, the captain, the lieutenants, the counselors, the caseworkers would come down, and we used to call it the dog and pony show. And it used to get us so fucking mad because they're coming to everybody's fucking cell. I think they do this just to write in a book that we went down there. And they would go to your cell and say, how you doing? How the fuck do you think I'm doing? I've been in this hole for 6 fucking months, and you think I'm fucking normal? How am I fucking doing? I used to get someone, get the fuck away from my door. Fuck you. I used to, all right, I got even past that. I would just lay in my bed. They'd bang on the door. I ain't getting up for you. Go fuck yourself. Well, you're just fucking pushing a button. How are you? That's like fucking stabbing somebody and then say, hey, how are you? You're literally fucking corrupting their mind. You're torturing them. You are torturing them. And then you say, hey, how are you? Our prison system, and now, let me even get this going more because I'm on a roll. Do that to a juvenile. Do that to a juvenile where the brain is not even fucking fully functional or fully developed. The male brain develops at 25 fully, they say. Well, that's the giver estimate. Not mine. Female, about 23. You're taking a kid who's 18 years old, 19, you put him in the fucking hole. His brain isn't even fucking developed, and now this guy's got to deal with fucking shit in the hole. I mean fucking crazy shit in the hole. He starts going crazy. You start thinking about yourself. You don't know where your family can't contact you. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. You don't have property. You don't have stamps. You don't have writing material. You have fucking nothing. You know, the whole process of the hole is bullshit. You know, when you first go to the hole, for whatever reason, let's say Larry Lawton fucking gets in a fight with John Smith. They take us and they put us in the hole. Now, before they figure out who's right or wrong in the hole, you're in the fucking hole. So now you go to administrative segregation, the bullshit side of the hole, where you're supposed to have a little bit more property, maybe a radio, maybe a fucking, you know, some other shit in your commissary that you're on, maybe a soup or your coffee or some other bullshit that really is nothing. But you get that. So now you go to that hole, and now you have to go to what they call a DHOs, which is disciplinary hearing officer. Now, the first thing they do is the next day they deliver what they call a shot or an infraction, or think of it out there as a traffic ticket. They deliver this to you, and it's what you were charged with. You're charged with this stuff. Now, first of all, once you are charged with something in the Bureau of Prisons, you're guilty. I fought every fucking infraction I did, from jerking off in the prison to fucking everything. You never win. It's bullshit. I represent the people in the hole because you can get some reputation. Somebody else, like you can get another inmate who knows your shit. I knew the shit. Someone was, hey, Lawton, can you represent me at the hearing? I said, fuck yeah. Never win. You give them facts and you don't win. I mean, they do everything what they want to do. It's just a tool for them. Segregation isn't a place to help for rehabilitation. Segregation is a fucking total disciplinary thing. Now, you could not be wrong. You could be innocent like anything else, and go to the fucking hole and won't win. Now, what you do when you go there, you get in the hole, and then, you know, you could fight the system, what they call a BP8, a BP, Bureau of Prison. These are forms to fight, and you fight them all up the chain of command, and then you go to the district level, region level, then you go to Washington, I think it's a BP11. After you go to a BP11, you could sue them, but the system makes you go through all of this a total process before you can actually file a civil rights lawsuit. What you should be able to fight a cruel and unusual punishment, the 8th Amendment. When I read a report that the UN said over 15 days is cruel and unusual, I don't know how they're getting away with it. In our system, supposedly is fucking, it just blows me away when the United States fucking cries to any other country. I don't give a fuck if it's North Korea, China, I don't give a fuck Russia, I don't give a fuck what it is. And we're complaining about their human rights when we're doing this to our own fucking people. You want to talk rehabilitation, give me a fucking call. I'll tell you how you could do it better, how you could change the system, how you could fucking, you know, it blows me away when they put people on these panels. You know, it's funny, I told you I did that video the other day on the Chauvin case. Van Jones, the CNN fucking guy, went to Yale, smart guy, all of this, but he's a fucking talking head. He's never been in prison. He's never fucking did time. He never did solitary confinement, never had to work in a prison, never had to do anything. He listens, but what does he know about the fucking system? They need more people who are on these talk shows and everything who've been there, who could say they've done it. You know, I often laugh at these news organizations. They call themselves news organizations. You know, when you watch a baseball game and you're listening to the analyst, who are you listening to? You're listening to Keith Hernandez, who was the first baseman for the Mets. You're listening to Alex Rodriguez. You listen to people who played the game because they know what the fuck they're talking about. These guys talk about prison and sentencing and what's going to happen. Not one of them fucking did a time. I don't get that. I don't get that. You know, I used to do a lot with the TV networks when they'd call me about stuff, and I did it, that's all for free. I'm not asking for anything. And I used to do that because I wanted to give the truth out there, and I did with Casey Anthony. And every case I called right. And I look at these people and I said, we have a solitary confinement system in this country and other countries that if we don't get a handle on it, all we're doing is making more and more people crazy and mental. You know, I watched the video and the warden was actually pretty good. He's trying to get people out of there. And as he said, he goes,
you can have them do their whole time in segregation. I don't want them living next to me when you release them. The use of segregation has its place when you have real dangerous prisoners, but from my perspective, it is overused probably throughout the United States.
And he's right. You don't want to live next to somebody who just got out of prison from the hole. You don't know how damaged they are. And trust me, they're damaged. I often tell the story when I got out of prison, I was so damaged that I could have went back and I could have did something serious to somebody and went back. And thank God for my cousin that saved my life. And so I had that support. I had a person to call. I had the right people. Now you're talking about a system now that, listen, you could look the cases up. They had put 3 guys in solitary confinement because they were using solitary confinement so much they had no more holes, no more cells. So what'd they do? They put 3 guys in 1 cell in solitary confinement, never getting out. I was in Atlanta when they had 5 of us in a fucking cell. You want to talk about fucking nuts and fucking tensions? And you want to talk about crazy? You're in this fucking little thing the size of this closet, and there's fucking people in there. You're shitting, fucking the smells, the fucking. It was just You want total fucking torture. It's total torture. It's total inhumane. Well, you know, as I think about this crazy shit, they had 3 guys in a cell. 2 guys killed another guy. These 2 life sentences, guy. There was a guy who had bank robbery, 10 years. They kill him. They cut out his intestines. They cut his intestines out of his body. Put him around the fucking door. Put him around the fucking door. Think of what I just said. And fucking they killed him. Who's to blame for that? The guys who did it, of course, they're part of it. But who put that guy in that situation? Why isn't more people held accountable for the crazy shit people do? Because these people are going crazy. You know, I was in the hole for so long. I remember, I don't know what I would do today, but I was in there and I used to fucking clean my cell. The first thing I did, I cleaned it because I'm a clean guy. And I'd fucking get on my hands and knees and fucking with an old t-shirt and fucking whatever I'd find. I would fucking I'd literally wipe and clean the whole fucking cell from the fucking floor, clean walls, everything, as much as I could. I had to do that. I had to be clean. And this is a place where there's rats and mice. I didn't give a shit. I wanted to clean that fucking place. So I would clean the fucking cell, and then my biggest thing, and the reason I started fighting the system, yes, I went crazy. I fought the system physically at first, and I couldn't beat them, and they tortured me. Strapped me down naked, beat me, 4-pointed me. But thinking about solitary confinement, thinking about the practice of it in the United States, it's got to stop. And enough studies have shown we're fucking damaging people so bad. Whether we need more mental health facilities, whether we need to actually make units better in prisons so you don't put a fucking kid who doesn't belong there with a fucking bunch of hardened killers. You know, I don't care what he did. If he's going to get out, does he have a chance? Is he going to rehabilitate? Does he have family? They don't spend enough time. They don't do what Sweden does. They don't do what Germany does. The United States doesn't. I know I've talked about those prisons. This is all about solitary confinement, because when I did solitary confinement on this, it's got me hot. It's got me hot. But going to solitary confinement, we need to stop it. We need to quit it. We need to listen to the UN and fucking abolish it to a degree. Obviously, you have to do something with a guy that's assault, but you don't have to leave him in there for years and decades. There are ways. It's harder now because they fucked up so much, the United States, that now you got people in the system who know the system, and now they can manipulate that. But anybody coming in, whether they put them in a new prison where it's run the right way, everything's the right way, treat some people the right way, you know, they have solitary confinement in some of these countries like I did with Sweden and Germany and stuff. Even that is treated a lot better. You know, you treat a person like an animal, you're gonna make an animal. And the United States is good at it. It's really fucking good at it. So shame on you, United States. Shame on you, media, for not reporting on this. Just pushing it under the table like it's a nothing. But with that said, solitary confinement's gotta go. We gotta figure out a way. The UN is right. And the United States, shame on you. I love the country. I love my country, but they're missing the boat on a lot of things. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Sorry I'm a little bit peeved today on this video. It is what it is. I can't help it. I had to do this video. It's my therapy. Thanks for listening. Please, if you haven't liked it or haven't shared, haven't commented, you know I answer these comments. I read them all. Please like and subscribe if you can. Pass the videos on. Do what you can. Have a great day. Please make good choices. don't go to prison. That's how I try to help people the most. Don't go to prison. Have a great day, everybody. Stay strong, stay safe.